Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Jay with Scraps and Taps, and we're back for episode 25, and we're going to be recapping UFC Macau. This weekend was not the most busy for UFC, but man, in the fight world, it was a pretty busy fight weekend. I mean, we got some BKFC, we got the return of the Gorilla Darren Till. We'll go a little bit over my personal journey. I'm trying to get this, get my fitness on. And holy shit, guys. Last week, I had such a hard time exporting this last video. I mean, it got me so fucking upset. And my video was just stuck in limbo. I was really about to rip my skin off my own face. I was so close to just ripping my own dick off and twisting it.
Oh, dude, this is an MMA fight, dude.
You too much. Twist that dick!
Twist his dick!
Twist his dick!
Oh my god.
Oh, dick twist!
Really. And finally, I was able to get the upload. Literally having to strip my iPad down to the motherboard. I swear to God.
Holy Christ, there's nothing left.
And sometimes the thing about the Appleverse is that everything, I feel like it just works on a certain day. Like if you just random Tuesday, I feel like Apple stuff just will work randomly, but not on Thursday night when I need it, or not Monday night when I need it. It'll be like, you know what? Let's make you shit bricks until Thursday, and then we'll get it uploaded for you, which it was already enough for me to have to do that. But yeah. But let's get into it. I'm only going to go the top three fights. I do want to say shout out to Angela Overkill Hill. Getting a win, buried down in the prelims. It's always good to see a legend like Angela Hill still keeping strong, getting a win in the UFC. So let's check out these top matchups from UFC Macau. So we get Talishin Teixeira versus Sergey Pavlovich, and I didn't see this, but Talishin Teixeira was ranked number 15, taking on ranked number 3 Sergey Pavlovich. That's a huge jump, which nobody was really talking about. Everybody wants to talk about the small guys and Loner Kavanaugh trying to go fight Brandon Moreno, and oh, that's a big whatever. What are you doing? But like, it's good to see some of these jumps, right? These guys who jump to division. This is not a meritocracy anymore. We know that the rankings sometimes really don't even matter at this point. But Talishin Teixeira has been in the news lately as he is the one who's been sparring Alex Poatan Pereira ahead of the UFC White House card, giving him some looks from like a rangy, tall heavyweight, right? And Talishin is looking really fluid in those clips. But Poatan is no Pavlovich. You know, Pavlovich is a long-standing heavyweight in the division who is fast and not afraid to throw. Maybe these last few fights, since he's been knocked out and finished, he's not been looking the same Sergey Pavlovich that we saw at Macau. And like I was saying, Talishin quickly figured out why Pavlovich is ranked number 3 in the division. And with Talishin just being laid out from a nasty KO in the first, I mean, it was scary. Pavlovich had Talishin's ear touching his shoulder, had him really rubbernecking. And now Pavlovich is on a 4-fight win streak. I mean, the heavyweight division right now is just at a standstill until we can get the interim title figured out. And then they have to unify the title. So I think it's going to be a while before Pavlovich can slide in there for a title shot, if I'm being honest here. But, I mean, that was a beautiful, classic Sergey Pavlovich finish. Then we move on to Alonzo Menefield versus Zhang. I really wasn't expecting this fight to go long. Both these guys have fight-ending powers in just one of their punches. In the beginning, though, Menefield was already looking like he was going to try gassing out. I mean, he was planting his feet and throwing like, I imagine the Incredible Hulk trying to punch a hole through just a random civilian, which was what I feared for Menifield, is his gas tank. And I feel like Zhang's gas tank is a little bit more tested, and he's willing to go further and dig deeper to get the win. But if there's anything that this fight showed me, is that Zhang has one hell of a granite chin, just weathering a lot of power shots by Menifield. But going into the later parts of the round, the power was too much for Zhang. And he would get caught up on the cage and just let Menifield pop off so many power shots with little return. And finally, Zhang's chin gave up and his will was broken from a lunging left hand that Menifield chased down Zhang after to the mat and finished with some really, really good ground and pound. Really, the ref gave Zhang every chance to try and survive. And he literally silences the crowd in enemy territory. So Menifield gets the win by TKO round 1. And then we move on to our main event. We have Deiveson Figueredo versus Song Yadong. And, Figueredo's record going into this fight isn't looking so good. It's looking a lot of shaky, dropping a lot of L's. And this is the later part of his career, so we are getting to a place where Deiveson is still he's a name, right? And to go up against a guy like Song, battle tested, trains at a amazing gym like Team Alpha Male, has the head coach Uriah Faber. I mean, insane wrestler, still training some of the greats or soon to be greats in the UFC. And he's touted to be a champ, a future champ. I mean, I think he's a future champ. So it was one tall order for Deiveson. And, at one point, the God of War felt like the God of Wars, man. You knew that watching Deiveson fight, you were going to get this nasty, nasty war. And at this point in his career, he needed a miracle to pull off the win. And I mean, like I said, Song is a great fighter who's just very well-rounded, but he's also and he's becoming my favorite fighter. He is willing to get grimy and nasty in those fights, like a homeless dude in the middle of the summer. That nasty. I mean, it looked like everywhere the fight went, Song was inviting Deiveson to jump in. Like everything was a trap. And that's what I mean, that he's looking so comfortable in every scenario that it just really looks intentional, everything that he's doing. I mean, he made Deiveson look a few notches below Song. Even in the way Deiveson tries to set up the wrestling, it just looked very clunky and just very messy. It didn't look fluid like Song was. Song was in there, popping in and out, staying in the pocket, willing to take a risk, but still managing to look like everything was chaining very well together. And in the finishing sequence, Figgy tries to go in for a very well-timed takedown. I give it to Figgy. But he makes a mistake of leaving his little Figgy neck out for just a little too long. And Song recognizes that and snaps down like a crocodile ready to eat. He gets the arm in guillotine and finishes the fight. And the crowd just fucking goes crazy. So shout out to Song. He's probably getting really, 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 really close to a title shot. I mean, going out there, willing to make it entertaining, but still, he can take some punishment. He can eat some shots. I mean, this guy is going to put on some entertaining top level fights once he gets, we'll see who he matches up against. But yeah, that was UFC Macau. Some good finishes there. We had an armbar finish earlier in the day, earlier in the card. So, yeah. And this past weekend, we had BKFC coming to Birmingham. And in the interim title fight, we had welterweights Tierney versus Franco. And like I said in the beginning of the video, the debut of Darren Till taking on undefeated 2-0 Aaron Chalmers. Also, reality star guy. Didn't know that. So the huevos on that guy must be fucking huge. So let's start at the bottom at the debut. I keep saying bare knuckle is this brutal sport, right? You have no wraps, you have just your bone in your knuckles, and the cosmetic damage that comes from it. It's a lot in just a little bit of time. So making a debut is tough, in my opinion, especially when you've been working on MMA the whole time, boxing. And there was an interview pre-fight where Darren Till looked a little dejected. I'm not gonna lie, so it had me a little worried going into the fight that it would change, or like his mind was changing about finally getting to the show. But man, let's take a look at this work.
Test himself, but I have to say he passed it. I mean, he got a knockdown. He walked into a beautiful left hand. A powerful shot. That's going to hurt almost anyone who eats that.
So Darren gets dropped and manages to get up late in the first round, and finally gets a little taste of it, gets the standing 8 count, and then goes back to the corner. So he gets a little taste of what it's like to get hit bare knuckle, very clean, gets dropped. Second round. This is where Darren, I'm a little worried, to be honest. I'm like, okay, what's it going to be like the second round? Is Chalmers going to take that momentum and keep it going? And really put the pressure on Till. But Till, his boxing IQ or his fight IQ was so good because Chalmers comes in with the right hand, and as he tries to feint the right hand, Till parries the right hand and then comes back over with a missile, and that left just a huge opening, right? And it made Chalmers crumble and quit right there on the mat. And Till manages to call out everybody, but there's one guy waiting in the wings that personally I have been waiting for a while now. What do you think? But who should they give Till next? Dave Feldman said that they're looking to come back to Birmingham or somewhere in the UK in September for a big event. So what can it be? I hear maybe he said 3 options. So I'm thinking Till. I'm thinking the big guy. But anyways, and in our main event, Tierney was looking to become a champ in his hometown, and Franco had other plans. I believe they had fought another time before, and Franco got the better of him. But in this one, Franco manages to chop Tierney down almost every minute, and Tierney manages to survive till the second round, and Franco managed to drop him a few more times before the ref had to step in and call the fight. Franco can really pack a punch, and Tierney can take some punishment. You need to look at this, though. His jaw completely broken, teeth mangled, and I've seen some gnarly videos as a child with unrestricted internet access, and I'm not going to lie, this made me a little queasy. I really hope Tierney makes a full recovery. So let's get to some fight announcement. I mean, we have to talk about the biggest news that came out. Obviously, it's been now a couple of weeks, so it's old news, but we finally get the return of Conor McGregor, who will be finally stepping back into the cage to fight the one and only Max Blessed Holloway for the second time. Now, when they first met, right, they were just wee lads, right? Wee lads. Now they're both.
I'm smarter. I'm better. I am better.
Now, I know everyone has already blown their load that Conor's coming back, but honestly, I'm still in the camp of the second Conor steps his fucking Irish feet into that cage is when, and they seal that octagon door, that's when I'll believe he's fucking back. Now, I get it. You guys, you're probably like, yeah, you're fucking stupid. But it's been too much between the UFC and Conor, and will he return this day? Won't he return that day? When will this be? For fucking years now. So I truly don't give a fuck. It's been such a nightmare for Conor to make his return. But honestly, there's no one. Okay, maybe one guy.
I got one dude on my mind. Conor McGregor, you gotta come back and fight somebody. I am the most entertaining lightweight on the planet. But I wanna...
Who could welcome Conor back? And that's the Blessed Express, the pride of Waianae, Hawaii. I mean, who's been putting on masterful and entertaining performances and has really been keeping busy in the cage while Conor has been rehabbing from his injury. So obviously no ring rust on that side. And you have to be real here. This would be Conor's first real fight since his leg snapped against Dustin. Will he able to throw the kicks effectively since his leg snapped? Since it's a big part of how he controls fights and how he's able to control fighters is through his kicks. I'm thinking Chad Mendes when he kept kicking him right in the sternum, and that's exactly what zapped Mendez's gas tank. Also, not to be afraid of re-injury. It's really throwing me back to when Weidman talks about how he came back and fought Brad Tavares and he couldn't unload the kick because his brain just couldn't allow it.
I remember hearing Rogan talk. He says this all the time. You come back from one of those leg breaks, you're never the same. And I remember being motivated from that. I'm like, I'm going to show him he's wrong. And I came back, and my first fight back, I'm going against Tavares, and this dude starts leg kicking me right away. And in training, I was leg kicking with the shin pads on stuff, and I thought I was fine. And as he leg kicked me, always my instinct was I'm kicking back even harder. He kicked me, and I just couldn't throw my damn kick. And I'm like, fuck, oh my God.
You just couldn't do it, huh?
At one point, maybe in the second round, I threw it, but I threw it like so scared. It barely touched him, and I'm like, oh my, I can't do it. I couldn't throw it. So it affected me way more than I thought it was going to affect me until I was actually under the lights.
And when he finally did, which is a really soft kick that he threw, I knew that I had to close my eyes and wince because I couldn't see it. I could not afford to get scarred for a third time seeing the leg snap in the cage. I really couldn't. But I'm still going to be excited to see what the lead up brings to the table. The fireworks should be insane. I'm hoping we get the old Mac back where he's talking all that shit. And the buildup should hopefully be really insane. I mean, it has a long story on where these two have ran into each other already before they were legends. And now that these two current legends will hopefully be able to stand across from each other on International Fight Week. And I can already see the documentary teams following Conor, following Max for this time. And Max said he knew about this fight for a pretty long time. So I can imagine how much buzz is going to be around this. I mean, we have two iconic fighters coming back to run it back. I mean, on what Max considers the ninth island, right? Las Vegas. So yeah, I mean, the Mac is back, supposedly. Another fight announced. We get Uros Medic versus Daniel Rodriguez. So we got a big fight for D-Rod announced after the layoff of my boy, after we found out what he had been doing time in prison for just having a little weed. I mean, come on, bro. It's 2026. Get me my za and let me pass the border, bruh. And now that our guy is busted out, he now has to fly across the globe to take on Uros Medic in the main event of UFC Serbia, who is coming off that insanely clean knockout of Jeff Neal in February. Both these guys looking down the barrel of their first 5-round main event. But let's be real. This fight won't make it past the third. I'm expecting fireworks, and D-Rod better pack his Adidas tracksuit and start bumping some Slavic rap. It's a long way from the SGV, buddy, but we got your back here at Scraps and Taps, man. I guess in some news now, though, the White House event is getting closer, and it's hard not to think that this is obviously going to be the biggest spectacle of the year. Whatever you say about the card, your eyes are going to be glued to the screen on a Sunday, which is weird. I'm thinking maybe it conflicts with all the other Freedom 250 events, but it also seems like those aren't going very well since half the musical acts dropped Maybe we'll have STEM come out and play Face the Pain for 8 hours.
Thank you. We're the Cantina Band. If you have any requests, shout them out. Play that same song. All right, same song. Here we go.
Time to end this suffering. I need a minute to my.
Let's take a look at some of these promos that have been dropping from the UFC lately, and they have been pretty fucking good. I must say, are looking like something that can really truly rival that iconic, coveted promo at UFC 194 Aldo versus McGregor promo. You know which one I'm talking about. Every fan chills because it was the biggest fight to make at the time. Sure, it's not spine chilling, but it's something that seems genuine. Also seems like there's going to be a documentary. I keep fucking up the word documentary. I keep wanting to say documentary instead of documentary. And I said documentary like documentary my whole life. Maybe my brain is changing right now. My brain is altering right now. But anyways, it seems like there's going to be a documentary that's pairing with this, and we're going to get some cool behind the scenes things with Trump being involved. Seems like the Secret Service. We also have some photos coming out of now the UFC. I guess they call it the crane being built, and it's looking pretty patriotic if I'm being honest here. Looking very like there needs to be a giant bald eagle perched on the top of it, right? And now I'm seeing these photos come out, right? And to have this, it almost feels like a countdown. Like this is what I'm waiting for, this big event. I can't wait to see. I really hope to see it in like a huge place with a lot of fans. And also to have it back-to-back huge numbered events like the White House being paired with Holloway and the Mac fight. We have some really good star power fights for these next few months for these numbered events. So I know as the weeks roll by, man, it is going to be so fucking exciting. So this past week, probably 2 weeks ago at this point, I went to my first Muay Thai class. Now, I used to do Taekwondo as a kid because my mom probably said this tubby little boy needs to better learn to protect himself. And it definitely taught me that, you know, using your body, doing these forms of martial arts and the fighting, it definitely can be art. Next to that, I wrestled in high school, just my senior year. But I didn't do too bad, honestly. I wasn't top level, but I also wasn't a scrub. But in that time, you know, I really fell in love with MMA after my little brother introduced me to it. Shout out my brother Victor. And he was also a much natural wrestler than I was, for sure. Here's an old picture of us, probably from, I think this is the Eaton Canyon. We would run that with my dad. And at the time, man, when we were younger, it was like the waterfall there was beautiful. If you guys have never been to Eaton Canyon, it was the one that was affected by the fires here at Altadena as well. But we would sprint that all the time, and it was a beautiful hike. Anyways, we would watch the UFC at the UFC gym, and we would roll with each other and try the moves that we saw, and we would try to figure out how these things worked, or watch a video, and we would box, and we would also get into some scraps because, you know, we also were brothers, so we always had a little rivalry going, and us being in the same sport, we always pushed each other to go to that next level. I mean, I used to have braces, and I remember not all the time I would bring my mouth guard, and we would still scrap until one of us just was like, all right, relax, let's give it up for a second. Then we'd go back at it for another round. And we would go till the wheels fall off. And you know, I really wanted to get back into getting fit, and ultimately what I really want to do is compete, whether it's Muay Thai, MMA, and document a little bit of my journey, because as well as making these videos, these get me out of my comfort zone by talking to a camera, talking as if somebody was right in front of me, if people were in front of me, right? And it keeps me creatively disciplined, even though I make stupid fucking edits. And, It's just to make people laugh, or it makes me laugh. So I put it in there. Shit like saying, like I know I got to stop doing that. But I also think it could help a lot of people who would want to try martial arts for the first time, because, going back to this class, it made me realize how much this sort of training and the gym culture and the people who are in the gym and kind of the goal, your personal goals that you're after, how much of an influence that took in my life, even back going to Taekwondo, doing the wrestling, running the canyons and things like that. Like, there's like, it's like I was saying, it's just, if I can influence somebody to take a step on the mat, because it's something that you gain more than just fitness. There's, like I said, community behind it. There's people who want to see you get better out there, even if they'll beat the fuck out of you. But even in the beating the fuck out of you, you'll get better. You'll learn to defend yourself better. But, so people can also see that fighting isn't just physical, right? It's that mental aspect, the mental hurdle. Like, it tests your brain. It gives you the drive to say, I'm going to fight back. I'm going to stand up for myself. And even the physical sense, and in that mental aspect where you're defeated by a run, because fuck, I hate running. God damn it. We did a 3-mile run before the class, and my homie Angel, shout out to him, the one who let me tag along, was like, just keep moving, man. And I really was just like, shut the fuck up, like, fuck you, right? And that's just how I cope. I say it in a joking way, obviously, but it helps to have some motivation out there, like somebody who would push you, also pushing yourself and being like, okay, come on, I can do this. I can run this 3 miles. And bro, we did 3 miles, and then we fucking did a HIIT workout after that, jump rope, burpees, things. And I was just so grateful that I didn't throw up, because I usually always fucking throw up, and I fucking hate that about me. So I fucking managed to do that. So that was already a moral victory. But, and I for sure can bitch out at times, and I'm not always the best student, right? So I also don't expect this to be updated all the time. But I'm hoping that I can start soon, and start documenting my journey. Here's my starting weight, somewhere around here. I ideally want to get down to ideally like 155, 150. I know my head's probably going to look like a fucking watermelon on a vine at that point. But, I want to see if I can drop some pounds, and later on this journey start dropping the fucking ops. You hear me? So, yeah, I want to be a better version of myself, and I feel like this will help me document it. But anyways, guys, I just wanted to end on that note, because I feel like I want to share a little bit of my personal life here. I feel like it's something that, like I said, will motivate somebody out there. And if I can motivate somebody to step out on the mat, that's cool for me. Yeah. We're getting geared up for UFC 250 here. I don't know what the next event is next week. But anyways, my name is Jay with Scraps and Taps, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.